Hello, in this particular video, we shall be taking a look at how to model a piston head using Revolve. So on your screen, you can see the diagram of the piston head that we will be modeling. So the 3D modeling tool we'll be using majorly to achieve this is Revolve. So if you are interested in achieving this together with me, let's get started. Taking a critical look at this piston head, you will observe that there are a lot of dimensions. So there is a section of this piston head by the left hand side. You can see a section, a cut AA in this direction. So this diagram here by the right is showing the section of that cut, showing a section of that cut. So to achieve this piston head, we'll be making use of Revolve tool. In using Revolve to achieve this, we will need half of the section. We will need to model in 2D half of the section, then we revolve that half round a center axis to achieve the full 360 of the piston head. In order to draw the 2D of half of the section, now here you can see the full section, this is a full section, but we need half of this section to revolve. We need to revolve half of this section to form the entire piston head. Now you can see there are a lot of dimensions. In order to make this class straightforward, I'll be saving us a whole lot of time by showing a simplified version of this dimension. So here I have taken my time to draw the 2D of half of the section required to form our revolve. We only need half of this section. Taking like the right hand side, we need half of the section. We're going to revolve that half round the center axis, round this center axis to form 360 of that piston. So I've taken my time to simplify that dimension so that we can easily walk through this tutorial class. But if you are interested in getting your dimension yourself, you can do plus or minus of this dimension that we have here to have something like this. So this is what exactly we are going to be trying to draw in our 2D section. So let's get started. Let's get started with this. Okay, I have opened my Inventor software. I've opened the part environment. I'm on the part environment of the Inventor software. Now I'm going to be picking my plane. So the procedure, start 2D sketch, select plane. I can select any of this plane. We are going to get the same results. As usual, the first thing I'm going to be doing is my unit setting. By default, Inventor is in inches. So my dimension is in millimeter. So I'd like to change my dimension. So I'll go to tools, document setting, units. I'll change inches to millimeter, apply, close. I'll go back to my sketch. Now I can start working on my 2D. So I'm going to close this. So we'll be using this now for our drawing. So my challenge now is to draw this half section to dimension. So I'm going to start with locating this end 95. 95. So I'll draw a center line, center line for my origin 0, 0. I'm going to draw a vertical line of length 95. That will take me to the top of the piston head. Okay, next, I'm going to try and get to this end, which is 42.5. That will take me to this end. 42.5 to take me to this end. 42.5. So I'm going to be using center line again, or broken line 42.5. Then I'll step downwards 5. Now the 5 I step downward is this dimension here, 5. So you can see this point and this point are not at the same height. So this is 95 takes me to the end, 90 takes me to this point. If you look at this dimension 90, you see this dimension 95. So 90 from 95, 5. So that means there is a height of 5. So that takes me to this point. So now I've been able to locate this point. Now you can see there is a here, there's an arc here. So in order to achieve this arc, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the corresponding end at this left hand side. So I'll take the same journey, 42.5, 5 downwards. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to be using this 3 point method of arc to draw my arc. My arc has to be in thick line. So point one of my arc, point two of my arc. Then this point here is going to be the third point of my arc. So now you can see now I have the given arc. So the given arc connects 3 points. This point, and this point. So I only need this section of the point. So I'll be making use of trim to take away unnecessary parts of the objects. Okay, so I can just delete this. I'm done using it. I only use this to get to that end in order to achieve the arc. So now I'm done with it. Okay, so I can delete this. Now I've been able to get this arc. I can also delete this, my construction line, which I used to locate this point. Okay, very good. Now next step, I'll start drawing my line. So this is 7.30 to this point, then a depth of 3. So 7.30, a depth of 3. So I can now continue with my line. So vertical line. So always note your sign when you are working in Inventor. Your sign is very important. You see the green dot, you see yellow dot. So those signs are very important. So now a vertical of 4.30. So 4.3, then 3 again, then 7.3, I guess, another 7.3, then 3. So I have like 3 steps: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the same dimension: 7.33, 4.33, 7.33, 4.33, 7.33. So I'm going to be doing this repeatedly. So this is another vertical 7.3, enter, then 3 depths, then 4.3. So this is just a repetition of those same dimension. 3, another 7.3. Okay, this place looks a bit clumsy, so I'll be deleting some of these dimensions so that we can see it properly. Okay, all right, good. Okay, now we can see it properly. Now I'm at this point, so I'll go 3 and another 4.3. 3, 4.3, then 3. Okay, good. So let me delete this dimension as well, so it doesn't. So presently I'm at this point, so I'm just going to take this straight down to the base. So now let's do that. So line. So from this point you can see the green dots indicating end point of that line. So I'm going to take this vertically down to the base of my drawing. So from the origin, then I can trim the intersection. All right, good. All right, now at the base. So now next thing is I'm going to try and draw. Now there is a fillet here. We are going to be adding that later. So I'm now going to draw this dimension. I'm going to draw this dimension and take it back to this spot. Then once we are there, we are done with our 2D. So now 5.6. So line from this point, 5.6. Then next, I'm going to be going vertically upwards. I'm going to be going vertically upwards at what distance? So vertically upward, you can see we don't have the dimension here, but we can always get this by calculation. There is also a small fillet here, which we are going to be adding later on. So now let's try and get this small height. So now to get the height, we have a total height of 85. So subtracting 35 from 35.5 and 43.90 from 85. So we'll be having a leftover of 5.6. So if we do that calculation, 85 minus 35.5 minus 43.9, so that will give us 5.6. So this height is 5.6. You can confirm that by calculation. So the height is 5.6. Okay. So 17 to the left, 17 to the left, then go upwards, 43.9 upwards, 43.9 upwards, then 17 to the right. Okay, we are making progress with this drawing. 35.5, 35.5. Then, okay, then I go to the extreme left to my point of intersection. All right, good. So now I can change this center line now to a thick line. So I'll just select it and remove center line. Okay, now I can trim. So trim. Okay, trim what is here. All right, good. All right, now you can see what we have. So we have been able to successfully draw half of the entire section of the piston. We have been able to achieve this to dimension. So I'm going to be deleting the dimensions I have here so that we can see clearly. Do I really need to delete it? Okay, I can leave it. They are not too much. So now our next step now to complete the piston head is to revolve this half section about the center axis. Now, I have not drawn my center axis because there is a vertical line here which I can use as my center axis. But well, for others uh, who might want better explanation with the center axis, so let me just draw the center axis. So now I've drawn a line to serve as my center axis. I'll make it a center line. Now, center line. So now this line here is representing my center axis. I'll be revolving this half section around the center axis. So just in case I don't draw this line also, I can use this line to serve as my center center axis. But let me just fulfill all righteousness by drawing my center axis. So now at this point, I can finish sketch. Now we can now go ahead and use our revolve object. Now, one thing to note is that for this object that we are about to revolve, it's a closed object. Even though we have used line, we have used arc to connect this, but this is a closed object. So we want to form a solid object, and to form a solid object, we need a closed object. So we have drawn this closed object in 2D. So now I'll use my revolve, then automatically revolve picks it as a solid, it picks it as a closed object, and it takes it by default to full revolve. Full revolve is 360. So you can, if you want to revolve at an angle, let's just play a little bit with revolve. Now you can see what revolve does. So revolve at an angle 90 degree. So revolve, you can see. So revolve is taking it from one side. You can see the reason why we draw half of that section. So revolve takes it 360 in order to be able to form that complete piston. So that's how revolve works. So I've only drawn half. So I want a full revolve, so which is 360. All right, then I'm going to accept this. Okay. All right. This is very good. This is very good. Exactly what I want. We are not yet totally done with our design. So now I will go back to the first diagram. Now on the first diagram, you will see that we still have some little addition to make to this design to complete the piston head. So now there is a hole of diameter 33.8 cutting through this face. So we're going to add that to the design. So we're going to add that to the design. So now to do that, start to the sketch, select a plane. Okay, let me put this on isometric view, then I can use any of this plane. Let me use this particular plane. Let me use this plane. So is the plane passing through the middle? Just in case you want to see through this object, I can put it on view wireframe. Now view wireframe helps us to see through that 3D model. So now I want to draw this circle. Now to position of the position of this circle is 27 and diameter 33.8. So now I can go to my 2D line from the origin, height of 27. Okay, let me make sure I'm center line. Height of 27, then circle. The circle is not a center line. 33.8. All right, good. Finish sketch. Now, because I've put my view on wireframe, now you can see, I can see through. Now, don't forget we use this middle plane X, Y, Z, YZ plane to draw our circle. Now, I'm going to extrude. I'm going to extrude. Now, I want to cut through from both ends, so I'm going to be using symmetric to cut through the piston head. Then make sure you are on cut and not join. So we are supposed to having a cut and not a join. So the first option here is join, the next option is cut. So we want a cut through the piston head. Okay, I've achieved that. I'll change my graphical view back to this. All right, good. This is another step of progress, but still yet we are not yet done with our entire piston design. Okay, now at this point, we are at this stage of the design. So the final step for us to complete the design is to add this cut. So here you can see a cut here. The cut is on the right hand side and on the left hand side of the design. Now to understand more about this cut, let's check the profile of the cut. You can check the profile of the cut here. You can see this 50, then this height of 12, then there is a radius and arc of radius 40. So 50, 12, and radius 40. So now I'll be drawing this on one side of the design, of my piston design. Now you will also notice that this cut is not going through the entire length of the entire length of the piston. It's just a little cut that just cut the wall of the piston at these two ends. So it's not going through. So I'm just going to create this profile, then make a little cut into the piston. So now to do that, I'm going to select, I'm going to be making the cut at this end here and at the other end. So now I'm going to make my plane visible. So my XY plane, make it visible. I want to make the cut from outside, not from inside. So I'm going to use offset, offset from plane. I'm going to offset a plane at a little distance outside the piston. Okay, all right, this distance is good. Let me remove visibility for this. Okay, so now my 2D profile is going to be drawn on this plane. So start 2D sketch on this plane. Now let me now start my sketch. Starting from the center, half of 50 is 25. Then the height is 12 as given in the dimension. Then I'll go all the way 50, 12. All right, good. Okay, let me close it up. Let me close it up. So the remaining 25 to close it up. All right. Now I'm going to draw an arc using 3 point method. First point of the arc, second point of the arc. Then I'm going to draw it at any, I'm just going to pick any point, but I'll use my dimension to constrain the arc to radius 40. All right. This is well done. So let me remove some of these dimensions so that we can understand the profile better. So to remove your dimension, make sure that dimension is unselected here. So you can press escape to deselect dimension, press escape on your keyboard. Then now I can delete some of the dimension. Okay. All right. So I'm going to delete this line too. Okay. So next step, finish sketch, extrude. Now I want to extrude in the other direction, just to cut. So what we need is a cut and not a joint. So I'm going to select cut in the other direction. So I'll make sure it's cutting through the wall of the piston. Not to cut through I'm not cutting through the entire distance, but just cut through the wall. Okay. Okay, this looks good. I can remove visibility here. All right. So now this same cut applies at the other end. It also applies at the other end. So in order to create at the other end, I'm going to be using mirror to create it at the other end. So my XY plane once again, I make it visible, then I use my mirror. The feature I want to mirror is this. Then the mirror plane is this. Then okay. All right, I've been able to mirror that. So now we have it at both ends. So with this, I'm done with my piston design. Looks good. So my piston head is completed. So now I'm going to save my drawing. I'm going to save my drawing. So I'll be saving the drawing in the same folder, crack assembly. We created a folder in the last video, a folder called crack assembly. So inside the same folder, I'll be adding this my model called the piston head. So inside the folder, I have the piston head. So now here for your model tree or model browser, you should have the name piston head. So just like we did in the previous video, I'm going to be adding a material to the piston head. So we use steel. I remember we use galvanized steel. So I'm just going to go straight to steel galvanized and add it to my selection. All right, cool. All right, good. So this is what I have for my piston head. It looks good if you agree with me. It looks good. It looks bright, shining piston head. So now I hope you have learned one or two things in Autodesk Inventor while working on this piston head. So for the next video, we'll be looking at how to draw another component. So follow me on this tutorial. If you really enjoyed this tutorial, remember to tell your friend, remember to like, drop your comment if you have questions. See you in the next video.